This is the portrait of a friendly city, a typical city in the Dominion of Canada, a city wrought out of primitive wilderness by men of vision.
For Hamilton is in the geographic center of teeming activity, a city easily accessible overnight from the major cities of the eastern United States.
Although Hamilton on the map is an inland city, it is actually a great port. A port with a landlocked harbor, which in normal times handles more tonnage than Halifax.
The great eel industry is the backbone of this industrial giant, basic supplier of the raw material for man's inventive genius.
But perhaps its most unusual feature is that amazing natural sand strip through which you pass, coming and going, and which makes Hamilton a completely landlocked harbor.
The years of intensive industrial and urban development around the shores of the Hamilton Harbour damaged water quality and ecosystem health. Environment and Climate Change Canada listed the Hamilton Harbour as an area of concern in 1987. Since then, efforts have been made to remediate this area of concern, which covers about 500 square kilometres. Today, the Hamilton Harbour remains a major shipping centre, supporting one of the largest concentrations of heavy industry in Canada.
Unfortunately, with industry came agriculture, more factories, and by association, pollution and waste into the harbor. Although that type of thing is unfortunate, it seems like it's a natural progression from kind of the development of a city, the development of a harbor.
The harbor was the dumping ground for some of the nasty stuff that they were using in terms of their processes for not only International Harvester but U.S. Steel and the whole range of industry that used to be down there that's no longer in existence. So it's been an ongoing process and journey, and for me it's always been we can't continue to use it as a dumping ground, and bringing it back to some semblance of natural habitat to the degree that we can, notwithstanding the fact that the very function and look of the harbor has changed appreciably from the marshland it used to be to a lot of infill space, which is probably not going to change, but to the remainder of the harbor can be a much better, much more suitable, much more enjoyable recreational opportunity for our community.
I think there have been continued improvements to water quality. There have been great improvements in public access to the harbor, like the facilities along the waterfront that we're enjoying here, the creation of wildlife habitat, both that we can see and fish habitat under the water that has been created, are all just wonderful achievements. And I think Hamiltonians and people on the Burlington side can be proud of that too.
Super exciting this year. The actual containment of Randall Reef has begun. It started about early April or so. The steel was brought in and they're going to actually build the containment box for the blob. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with Randall Reef, it's about 700,000 cubic meters of coal tar. So over the last 150 years of industry dumping into the harbor, this accumulation of coal tar and PAHs, like heavy metals and whatnot, have accumulated in one section of the harbor. And this $140 million initiative to cap it is incredibly exciting about, not just in terms of pride for Hamilton and delisting the harbor as an area of concern. Although the construction's begun, it's going to be probably slated to finish in 2022. So there's a few years to go. Today, the harbor it's a working port. It's also used for recreation, for leisure. So it's much different than it was in the 1700s. Although it's much different, it represents the history, but also it represents what Hamilton stands for today.
It's a place of enjoyment during the summertime, the improvements in the harbor. They had that new pier area over there, and they got Williams a place here and a place for to take my dogs.
Oh, I've caught some bass, catfish. The fish want cleaner water, so hopefully they come back.
We have a couple of big projects to complete, one being the remediation of Randall Reef. We still have to work on improvements in the water coming into the harbor from the surrounding watersheds, and there's actions being planned to do that. So we're definitely in the right direction, and I think it won't be very long before we can say that we've achieved our ultimate goals.
We're at a tipping point now where we've almost done as much as we can do to remediate the harbor to the best degree possible.
I guess over the last probably 10 years, I've been coming down with my family, come down for picnics, come down for coffee, enjoying like all the nice things about it, like the water, the boats, just the peaceful serenity of it. I'm just hoping it gets better and better and better, gets cleaned up, and maybe one day my grandkids can swim in the water.
The future of the harbor is very bright. It seems like there's this excitement and this pride brewing around the harbor, and we need to take advantage of it.